Valley.
Very much, Mr. Speaker. And I hope all of the MPs that are in this place know of the stories of Canada Post workers that go above and beyond simply delivering the mail, that go above and beyond what their duty calls upon them to do to make sure that people, my friend talked about Canadians living with disabilities, get access to all sorts of extra help that is not required in the collective bargaining unit, is not required in the agreement. And here's our frustration as New Democrats is very similar to what my friend just said. Liberals came in riding on a promise to change the perspective on labour relations. And I've heard Liberal after Liberal get up in this place and say, we believe in good faith negotiations. Yet 2 weeks ago, before negotiations had come to a head, the Liberals indicated that this day was coming when they were going to impose a contract upon the union. Well, what does that tell the employer? It says they don't have to negotiate anymore, because the government's waiting with this piece of legislation, which is, by the way, I don't know if members have all read this. This legislation is under the most prescriptive terms I've ever seen. There is no ability to move the needle at all in terms of pushing back against what the government's trying to do. All of it is prescribed and time-ordered and forced through on the government's own agenda. So the notion that comes from the Liberals that they were going to treat labour with respect, because at least I'll give the Conservatives this, they came in not really on a lot of promises to, I don't know, look favourably upon organised labour in this country. It certainly wasn't their voter base, perhaps, but Liberals were different. And that's how Conservatives operated. One of the first things the Harper government did was support a Canada Post lockout and then impose a contract. So union members were waiting for this opportunity to negotiate, maybe with a government that believed in negotiation, but they don't. And here's my thing to my friend, who is focusing on the services to Canadians, which we're all focused on. If we want that service to be of the highest and best quality, workers need to be able to go to work. And what we've been told is that the conditions under which Canada Post workers have been working in the last 5 years has led to a higher injury rate, 5 times higher than other federally regulated businesses. The nature of the business has changed. There are far fewer letters and far more parcels. The packages have gotten heavier and bigger, and in a rural constituency like mine, it is predominantly women who are the carriers, and they are working hours, mandatory hours, way beyond what the contract requires them, and that's where the injuries come from. So if my friend is interested in solving these things, if the Liberals are actually interested in solving these things and bringing us to the best level of service, then wouldn't the negotiating table be the place to figure these things out so that workers can go to work safely and come home safely, and that we can all get the services that we were looking for? Thank you.
The honourable member.